A significant winter storm will impact millions from Texas all the way over to the Carolinas this Friday and through the weekend. Anyone in the highlighted area really needs to keep a close watch on this forecast. This will be a memorable event as snow, ice, freezing rain, and dangerously cold temperatures are all possible. Threats will linger well past this weekend as we'll feel impacts into next week thanks to sub-zero temperatures. Winter storm watches have already been issued. More are definitely set to follow as we head into the next couple of days. Here's what you need to know so you can plan and prepare for the week ahead without the panic. If you're highlighted in the pink or the green area, this just isn't a forecast you could miss. And I doubt you have. It's all over social media right now. The big question as we head into the next couple of days isn't if this is going to happen, it's exactly where the snow and ice line is going to set up. Can this change? Absolutely. It only depends on a couple of degrees, and it also depends on where that area of low pressure sets up. A large Arctic air mass is plunging south. It's bringing below average temperatures for this time of the year all across the south. At the same time, moisture is moving north out of the Gulf. Where these two meet is going to be the battleground for what we're expecting Friday through Sunday. And even once this system passes, this is as we look into Monday and Tuesday, it is going to be incredibly cold. And this is not wind chill, this is temperatures. This is showing 0 degrees for Nashville, Tennessee on Tuesday. This setup will be a marathon and not a sprint. Because of the cold air that is filling in behind this, because of the cooler air that's filling in behind this, anything that does fall, snow or ice, will likely linger at least into early next week. We begin to see impactful weather across central Texas and Oklahoma beginning Friday morning. This will move into the mid-south and the mid-Atlantic as we go into the weekend. Let's start with the big picture, the big setup. We'll compare two different major models, and then we'll take a closer look into different parts of the country. If there's an area or a threat you're looking for specifically, just check the description. I'll have everything timestamped. So what I just ran you through and what's currently going is the latest GFS model. The American model, it's long range. GFS definitely has moisture arriving before the cold air, so we're seeing just very cold rain across portions of northeast Texas and Oklahoma, transitioning into a wintry mix by Friday overnight. We really see the snow pick up for portions of Arkansas overnight Friday into Saturday. That then spreads into the mid-south, including Tennessee, the Appalachian Mountains, and the Carolinas. Checking out the rain-snow line, we're really seeing that clear divide across central Texas, the northern half of Louisiana, and really just the northern half of the Gulf states. The Tennessee and Alabama state line really seems to be the big divider on where we're going to see freezing rain versus snowfall. Two very different things with very different impacts. So we're still on Saturday. We'll take this out. This is by Saturday afternoon, and it's still going. Check out Texas. Now we're seeing more winter weather following behind that. So it's not a one and done. It continues to move across. This is now Saturday night. More heavy snow, more ice. This is why this is going to be such a significant system and why confidence is so high. Models have been showing this consistently for days. Still seeing ice set up across the entire state of South Carolina. We're talking about beach towns all the way from the Outer Banks down to Holden Beach, Wilmington, and then even, of course, Charleston. Seeing winter weather. That doesn't happen every year. We still are dealing with this. This is throughout the day. Sunday and into Sunday evening, Sunday overnight, it begins to exit. So it's finally done. It's finally out of here by the daytime on Monday. But when you see those 540 lines, that goes to show how cold it is going to be. I'm calling it now. I really, truly do not think very many schools will be in session next week. Definitely Monday, probably Tuesday, probably Wednesday. I mean, this is just continuing to trend like the big event. And I do not say that lightly. I really try to focus on weather explained more so than exaggerated. So we're going for the other model now. This is still long term, but this is the European compared to the American. This has cold air a little bit deeper earlier on. Still seeing cold rain across Texas, seeing mixing Friday evening turning into a wintry mix and then snow all across Oklahoma. Continuing this out, heavy snow bands and really heavy ice with this continues for those in the southern half of Arkansas and then the northern half of those Gulf states. The European has been aggressive from early in the week with this, and it's continuing this. If you want that big snow across Tennessee, this is the model that continues to show that. It also is very aggressive with a lot of ice. Heavy snow bands then continue into North Carolina. This is Saturday overnight into early Sunday. Really heavy ice for Alabama, Georgia, all the way down to Atlanta, and then, of course, the entire state of South Carolina. The big change with this one is going to be the Euro is taking the ice a lot further north. It's doing that because it's accounting for warmer air being aloft. A popular comment I've seen is, how can we possibly be discussing snow versus ice when clearly it's going to be so cold out this weekend? And that has to do with the temperatures aloft. If it is warm, higher in the atmosphere, that changes the entire vertical profile. The vertical profile and how temperatures are working from the surface to aloft is what changes snow from freezing rain to sleet to ice. And this is trending as a big freezing rain event. The concern with this, especially if it plays out this way for areas like Tennessee, you have a really heavy snow Friday, Saturday, and then it's getting covered with freezing rain, which will immediately ice it over as we look into the second half of your weekend. And that is so messy. This is by Sunday night, overnight into early Monday. So timing for when this begins and when this ends, very similar. A lot of agreement for the GFS and the Euro. The big difference is where that rain and snow line sets up. And when I say rain, I mean freezing rain. The only people that are really going to see rain, just cold rain out of this, will be areas down to Galveston and Houston, all the way over to the southern half of the Gulf states and most of Florida. Florida, you had your moment last week. Now the rest of us are going to get a lot of snow. So whether this falls as snow or freezing rain, this will be impactful. This is for moderate winter weather impacts Friday night into Saturday. This is more hyper-focused over Oklahoma and Texas, the Panhandle, and then portions of Arkansas, Middle Tennessee, and Louisiana. This is a huge part of the country being impacted. I know I'm cutting part of this off, but this is the same thing. Moderate winter weather impacts now for Saturday night into Sunday. The whole thing just moves east. So this now is for Central and East Tennessee. All of Virginia is red, most of North Carolina. I cannot stress this enough. This is not something you see every winter. Yeah, snow is possible every winter. This is different. Power outages are a big concern. If you are planning to travel this weekend, I wouldn't. Easier said than done. I work weekends. I work odd hours. I completely understand. If there is any way you're able to stay home, absolutely do it. But again, I know that is a place of privilege to say that, right? You need money, you need to clock in, gotta get to work. Travel concerns, also a very big deal. We're already seeing winter storm watches in place for almost all of Oklahoma, a large portion of Texas, almost all of Arkansas, and the northwestern section of Louisiana. So if your phone went off earlier today, you live there, this is why. It's for this weekend setup. Here are the three biggest impacts. One, school closures. I highly doubt any schools are opening most of next week, especially Monday and Tuesday. 2, air travel and just travel in general is going to be very limited, especially across areas of the southeast and the south. And the third thing, infrastructure disruption. So power outages, down trees, that kind of thing, absolutely going to happen with this. And I don't say any of that to panic you. I say that to make sure that you feel prepared for what is coming this week. Because worst case scenario, if you are stuck inside for a couple of days, you've got what you need. You have firewood, you have extra gas or propane, and food. So I've switched this back over to the American model. I like that it's not as aggressive, although I appreciate it accounting for the warm air aloft. We're running with the GFS. We're going to quickly run through a regional focus, the first being on Texas and the Southern Plains. So Thursday is quiet. It's the quiet before all of this goes down. Rain begins to pick up. This is into Friday, and then transitioning already by Friday afternoon into freezing rain, and we're seeing that mix happen right along the Texas and Oklahoma border there, even Texarkana included in this. Continuing this out, more moisture, more mess. By Friday, this is after sunset, about 6, 7 o'clock. I can't say 6, 7. By the time Friday evening rolls around, things have really transitioned already to winter weather. Purple, we're seeing sleet. South of that with all of the red, freezing rain, and then north of that more so the snow. So Oklahoma primarily staying with the snowier side of things, but then as you get deeper into East Texas all the way down to Nacogdoches, we're seeing freezing rain. Continuing this out early Saturday morning, as this moves into Louisiana, it's doing so as sleet. Heavy snow does move across northern Mississippi, but it is such a tight dividing line there. I mean, just as we're seeing, it's just a couple of miles, just a degree that can make all of the difference with this setup. Behind the first round of snow across Texas, we're seeing sleet mix in. It's just a mess. You don't want sleet. You don't want freezing rain. everything's going to ice over, or at least it has the potential to ice over. By Saturday night, again, focusing on Texas, still dealing with sleet. Continues to sleet, a little bit of snow behind that into Sunday, just piling on top of that. Still see freezing rain going into Monday, and snow into Monday in Texas as well. So there is potential for snow Monday across areas like Austin, all the way over to Dallas. And that's just going to add on top of what has already accumulated for the last weekend. The 540 line is still there, meaning the cold air is still present. So whatever does fall across East Texas, Louisiana, and the Gulf states will stay. We're looking a little further east. This is now the Mid-South, the lower Mississippi Valley, Tennessee Valley, however you'd like to recognize it. There's a chance for some flurries, some light rain showers as we go into Wednesday. This is not it. This is just some moisture all ahead of it. Cold air is setting up by Thursday. That's really important. I always talk about how if you want a big snow event, you cannot have cold air chasing moisture. You have to have the cold air in place. Tennessee, we do. That's a big change for us. Earliest arrival, this model has it coming in late Friday. It could be by Friday afternoon if it really got going, but more likely than not Friday evening into the overnight hours of Saturday, where you're waking up to flakes Saturday morning. Heavy snow band setting up. This model more so has it across northern Alabama. It's only a couple miles of difference. I've also seen different runs of the GFS keeping those heavier bands across Tennessee. I wouldn't be shocked if we get that more so over middle Tennessee, but there has been a lot of runs showing that a little further south. This pushes up into Saturday, and then it continues across the northern half of Alabama and Mississippi. These Gulf states look messy. Every single color that you can have on radar, they do, from sleet, freezing rain, snow, and rain. Which is why I was saying if you don't have to travel this weekend, then don't, because this mess continues. This is by Saturday night, and then we continue this into Sunday. Into Sunday, the moisture lingers, the cold air lingers, so we are still seeing some lighter snow, some lighter precip. Into Sunday overnight, quiets down across Tennessee. It does continue for the Gulf states. And that last push of moisture finally exiting, this is into Monday night, overnight Tuesday. This even has some snow being possible for southern Georgia and South Carolina Tuesday into Wednesday. All right, last, let's check out the mid-Atlantic. So this includes Virginia and the Carolinas. Rain moves through by midweek, some flurries even for the Appalachian Mountains. Again, just like with Tennessee, this isn't the entree. That's not what we're tracking. This is just a little bit of moisture hanging out ahead of all of it. Cool air is moving in that does reach all the way down into the Greensboro area. We begin to see snow picking up for the western half of North Carolina, northern half of Georgia. This is Saturday afternoon. Where is that mixing line going to set up? I will say things have been very consistent the last couple of days, with South Carolina getting primarily the sleet and freezing rain, while North Carolina gets a lot of the snow. I would not be surprised, like it's showing right here, where portions of Holden Beach, Carolina Beach, Wilmington, Myrtle, which I know is South Carolina, seeing some of the freezing rain and the sleet. This is into Sunday afternoon. For North Carolina, this will linger into Monday, and it just continues and piles on. It's true for Atlanta as well, over into portions of South Carolina. This is into Monday afternoon and evening. You could still be seeing flakes flying Monday night, overnight into Tuesday. I mean, how many times can I say this is a marathon and not a sprint? This is days and days and days worth of winter weather possibilities, and then behind it, freezing cold temperatures, making it last even longer. This is why I think kids are going to be out of school for so long. Overall, there is high confidence that a winter weather system will impact a very large portion of this country as we go into the weekend, beginning as early as Friday morning, lasting, as we saw for the Carolinas, potentially into overnight Monday and Tuesday morning. What is low on the confidence list is exactly how much snow and ice we will see. I know I've seen some crazy totals, and where that line is going to set up that separates the freezing rain from the heavy snow bands. It's not going to depend on surface temperatures. It will depend on where the low sets up, and it depends on temperatures aloft. If there's warmer air mixing in, that's where we more so see sleet and freezing rain compared to just straight snow. So I'm going to let this play out so we can take a look at snow totals. I don't want to look at any numbers. Any numbers right now, they're not going to hold a lot of weight, but I think this is helpful to see where this has the heaviest bands setting up and who even has the potential of seeing something. So with this latest GFS, expecting the Carolinas and right along those northern Gulf states to see the highest totals. If you are south, if you're in East Texas, if you're across Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, and you're in that white area and you think, oh, I'm not going to see anything, This is just for snow. This does not include freezing rain. This does not include ice. I also think this line could easily shift with Tennessee seeing the higher snow totals all the way from Martin, Tennessee to Nashville to Knoxville. I'm going to let freezing rain play out and do the same thing. We're not going to look at totals, but we're going to see at who has the greatest chance at seeing the higher totals. And it's those same areas. There's a lot of overlap with snow for a lot of this, but for areas that were in the white, like portions of East Texas and Louisiana, have the greatest chance of seeing freezing rain resulting in ice. So it's already hard enough that we have to deal with basically every form of winter weather there is, but this is as we look into Saturday. Temperatures fall into the teens. Sunday, we only get up into the 20s, and then even colder air moves in behind that, dropping temperatures overnight Monday into Tuesday back down into the teens and for some the single digits. This is a look at your Wednesday temperatures. 1 degree in North Carolina, 0 degrees across Alabama. There's a chance for sub-zero temperatures. This is why anything that falls from the sky will stay with us throughout the week next week. I know that was a lot of weather information in a very short amount of time, but there's a lot to this. There's a lot of changing factors. There's a lot that still can potentially and will probably change. What you need to know is if you live anywhere from Texas and Oklahoma all the way over to the Carolinas and anyone in between, you cannot discount this winter storm. It is not a question of if it is going to snow. It's a question of how much are we actually going to see and where are we going to see the freezing rain and the snow line set up. That's basically where we're at this. There is high confidence this is going to happen, and that's rare. If you're a little skeptical, you're feeling doubtful, it's because that doesn't usually happen for us when it comes to winter weather. The question is it even going to happen? Yes, it is. How much? Where exactly? We're not sure. But that will become clear over the next few days. What you got to do today and the next couple of days is plan and prepare. It looks different for everyone. Just make sure you're stocked up on non-perishables. You have any medications you need to have. You got gas in the car. You got bread and milk, all of that good stuff. So do your best to stay warm, stay safe. I will keep you updated on here. I'm keeping you updated on all forms of social media. So until next time, love you later, bye.